All right, I'm on the phone with head coach Mark Shields from the MDI football team. And coach, it's like preseason, just like you're going through two-a-days down there. It took me forever to try and figure out how to operate this system so we could talk on the phone again.
Yeah, I kind of expected that, Chris. This is sort of how we roll the first couple of shows of the season, and then, by the end, we're just phenomenal.
Oh,
I mean, we are amazing.
It's Marconi award-winning at the end. So I'll share with you, I was exhausted Monday night. By the time I went down to MDI, I was on the field at 6 o'clock. I had to go back down to Ellsworth at 7 o'clock that night. I got home at 8. And I remember getting home and saying to my wife, oh, my God, thank God I don't have to be back on the field at 6 o'clock. It's exhausting double sessions.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, I'm thinking I'm exhausted, and I'm not really the one out there doing anything, physically like the kids are. So I can just only imagine how they feel. I remember back in my playing days, which seemed to be forever ago, but yeah, I mean, it's just, for starters, we're not accustomed to getting up that early every day and being out that late. I mean, usually by 8 o'clock, I'm in my jammies and watching the Red Sox lose. But
no, they're winning 6 in a row now. Thank you.
Yes, I was so pleased to see they beat the Orioles again last night. But yeah, I mean, by the time I get home, it's whatever, pushing 8 o'clock, and I'll watch some of the Olympics and a little bit of Red Sox, and I try to get myself, in bed around 9, but it's just so hard because your mind is still racing, and yeah, and then I wake up early because I'm always worried that I'm going to sleep through my alarm and I'm going to be late for practice. But here I am preaching to the kids, you got to make sure you come to practice, don't be late. And then Coach Shields, if I were to roll in late, I would feel absolutely terrible. So, like this morning, awake at 3, just looking at the alarm clock, and then to start thinking about the day and everything involved. But yeah, it's pretty tiring, and we're all happy when we get through the two-a-days for sure.
It's that old saying, if you're on time, you're late. If you're 5 minutes early, you're just on time. And if you're 10 minutes early, then that's good, right?
Yep, definitely. And we have some guys, I leave the house, I pick up one of my neighbors, Adam Birdzell, down the street, and I tell him I'll leave my house at 5, so be ready at, 5:01. And I pick him up, and I'll get up to high school, quarter after 5, and I usually have a couple of guys, Micah Hallett and Croy Albee, they're waiting for us. They're sitting by the door waiting, and so those guys a lot of times beat me in there when I'm picking up Adam. So yeah, I mean, most of the guys honestly will get in. They'll give themselves, some of them will give themselves a good half an hour, 20 minutes, and then there are a few guys that they're pretty good at timing it out. So just as coach is about ready to take attendance at 6 a.m., they are just snapping their last buckle on their helmet. So, yep.
Timing is everything.
Exactly.
So tell us how the week's gone. Has weather played an issue at all? It's been hot. It's been very humid, but have you escaped the showers?
Yeah, we actually have. I was worried yesterday morning, because they were calling for those torrential downpour.
Yeah.
They talked about thunder and lightning, and I told the kids the night before, which would have been Tuesday night, that
bring your sneakers.
Yeah, right, because we might be in the weight room in the morning and maybe go into the gymnasium for a little bit for that morning practice because, obviously we wouldn't want to be out there. But sure enough, I got up and I heard the rain come down pretty hard that night, but by the time we got up to practice, it had stopped and it was just overcast. So we really did luck out. I know Monday night was hard on the kids because Monday morning we worked really hard conditioning, and then Monday afternoon we did the same conditioning, and it was pretty muggy and pretty hot that night. And the guys, they were pretty tired and pretty steamy. But overall, we've done pretty well. I think the time of our practice during, the time of day helps we're out there at 6 a.m., and it's not obviously going to be too warm then. And then, you get out there at 4:30, it still can be a little warm, but by the time, 7 o'clock rolls around, sometimes the temperature will start to drop a little bit. But, yeah, we've been pretty lucky weather-wise.
How has the week gone in terms of conditioning and gradually starting to put plays in?
Yep, the kids working extremely hard, very, very pleased with their effort, their attitude, they're supporting one another. When we do what we call stations, and basically you have 4 different stations. Each coach will have a station, and you'll do whatever activity in that station, some sort of conditioning. And we have the kids go around twice, so you're going to go around 8 times, or you're going to be in 8 different stations. And then after that, the kids will all get together and kind of do their chants and break down on the whistle, and then I'll go to each coach, and if they give a thumbs up, if every coach gives a thumbs up on their station, we're done for the day. But if one coach gives a thumb down, we got to go one more rotation. So the kids, they need to support one another, and it's been great. It's been awesome. They have been super supportive, and so conditioning-wise, the kids are working real hard, and we've had 2 offensive nights so far, so Monday night and Wednesday night, and we've gotten in quite a bit of offense. It helps to have some experienced kids on the field, and we do have a experience, especially our backfield. When you think our quarterback, Andrew Phelps, played all last year, and then Colby Lee, one of my halfbacks, and Corey Albee, my fullback, and then Chris Farnsworth, the other halfback. Right now, he's splitting time with Ezra Johnson at that back, and Chris played a lot last year too. So those guys all know the system pretty well, and and then where we're the youngest, I would say, or most green, would be on our front line. So we're working hard with those guys, and we walk through a lot of plays, and talking about who we're going to block on what play, and who's pulling, and who we're trapping, and all the normal stuff. And looking at it last night, considering how much offense we've put in, I think the kids are doing really well there. From time to time it looks pretty ugly, and then we'll just regroup and rehuddle, and we'll get back on the line and run the play again. And for the most part, the kids are really understanding what we're trying to do. And we are running the T offense like we have, but we're also running what we called the flex last year, where we would spread out our ends and move our halfbacks off the tackles, and it's more of a spread type look, and we're doing that as well. And this is our second year with that offense, so that's really helpful that they've had 1 year under their belt on that one. And tonight will be our second defensive practice, and the first practice was a lot about safe tackling, how to keep your head up, and try not to even use your head during tackling, and breaking down and all that sort of stuff. And then we did a lot of breakdown time with each individual position, and then we did some team stuff at the end. And tonight we're going to do a little more team stuff to get ready for our scrimmage against Waterville on Monday. And we do our special teams every morning, and right now we haven't solidified anything as far as special teams, but we're just kind of showing the kids some different techniques for kickoff, kickoff return. Today we actually did put in some punt for the first time. So we're slowly getting there. The thing about 2-a-days, it does help that you have 2 practices a day, and you can obviously get more in. So right now we're pleased on where we are.
Big weekend in terms of heading towards the Schoodic Education Resource Camp on tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. It's the first time we've ever done this. So Friday afternoon, we'll have our morning practice Friday morning, 6 to 7:30, and then at 1:30 in the afternoon, we'll load the buses up, and we'll head on over to the Schoodic Institute. And that's going to be fun. We're going to, we're going to have some practice time as well, but there's going to be a lot of just team building activities. We'll watch some sort of inspirational video. We always show them a film on concussions and awareness on concussions and that sort of stuff. And then Friday night, to finish the night, we're going to have a fire pit. And we've already had some s'mores donated by one of the families, which is great. And then Saturday morning, we'll get up and have breakfast. We'll have a nice meal Friday night at Schoodic. They're providing that. And then we'll get up Saturday morning and have a big breakfast, which they'll provide. And we'll have one more practice. And then right around, I think it's 10:30 or so, we'll be loading the buses and heading back to MDI. So we should be back somewhere midday on Saturday. And then the kids will have, which will be good for them, they'll have Saturday evening off, they'll have all day Sunday off, and then they'll have Monday morning off as we travel to Waterville for our 4 p.m. scrimmage.
Oh, my God. They won't know what to do with all this extra time.
I know, I know. And, you know, it's one of those things, doing this for a while and using the same schedule all these years, we all need that time. We really do, to kind of just recoup, and our bodies are tired, and, you know, just time with our families. And, I mean, to be together as much as we are is important, but it's also important that they have some time with their families as well, and they'll have that time that weekend. So, does
Schoodic have any idea how much these boys are going to eat Friday night and Saturday morning?
Yeah, you know, I was wondering if they're going to lose on that deal. Because I don't think they have any idea how much Corey Albee could eat. You know, I mean, these guys, I mean, I've seen these guys eat, and we'll have a pizza party, and, you know, I usually do that every year, and I love it when the kids, you know, they won't have one slice of pizza. They'll stack a couple, you know, one on top of the other and eat it that way.
It's a pizza sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Or they'll roll it up and eat it. You know, it's unbelievable the way, how fast 20 pizzas can go when you sit a bunch of football players down. So if it's some sort of buffet, they are in big trouble.
Just make sure Croy is like one of the last to eat, going through the line or something like that.
Yeah. I'll help it. You know, I'll say, hey, Croy, why don't you help pick up the field while the other guys head on in? And, you know, there might be some food left over. We'll see. But, yeah, these guys have healthy appetites for sure.
What are the numbers like? Have they improved at all during the week?
A little bit. We've picked up a couple other guys. I've heard there's a couple other guys that still might be coming. We're hoping on that. I think probably by school time, we're thinking we're going to be right around 30 kids.
Which is a magic number.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my goal. I knew our numbers were not going to be fabulous this year. I didn't want to be under 25 for sure. I kind of thought I'd be around 25, 26, and if we hit 30, I'd be very pleased. And right now we're sitting at 29. Not all will participate on Monday because some of the guys just got started with us.
Yeah.
But there's another guy I've been told might be coming out when school starts, and you never know. Sometimes you'll pick up a couple guys when school gets going. So if we can hover around 30 kids, depending on the day, I'll be pleased.
All right, Coach. Have a great weekend. Enjoy a little time off. Enjoy the time down at Schoodic, and we'll talk to you on Monday and find out how everything went.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. Good, Chris. Thank you. Good, Chris.